Do you think you've seen it all? Think again. F1 isn't just about speed, sometimes it's pure chaos. So let's dive into the most unusual crashes in Formula 1 history, where cars flew, debris rained, and luck is the only thing between drama and disaster. Zhou Guanyu, Silverstone 2022. We have to talk about Zhou Guanyu's crash at Silverstone. It's absolutely horrific. Following a multi-car collision, the Alfa Romeo flipped and slid upside down through the gravel and over the tyre barrier. It was a terrifying sequence, but the halo proved its worth, protecting him from massive injury. The footage is difficult to watch, but his survival is a miracle.
So he was actually, Martin, upside down, as you can see, and the roll hoop and the halo very much doing its job before the car digs in.
Martin Brundle, Australia 1996. Martin Brundle's opening lap crash in Melbourne is pure vintage chaos. He hit the car in front, was launched over the back of it, and completely destroyed the Jordan, sending it cartwheeling into the gravel trap. The amazing part is that he sprinted back to the pits to take the spare car for the restart.
Has passed the Williams. Down into third and fourth position goes David Hillin. Wow!
Brendan Hartley, British Grand Prix, FP3, 2018. This crash proves you don't need a race to have a spectacular incident. Hartley suffered a front suspension failure at high speed and was launched into the barriers at the end of the Wellington Straight. The car flew into the wall, totally disintegrating on impact. A frightening moment when the car just refuses to turn in.
In
China
and Shanghai, when both front
That's
wheels
the
came off.
upright failing, isn't it? On the brakes. As soon as he's hit the brake pedal, that's...
Maldonado and Gutierrez, Bahrain 2014. Pastor Maldonado had a reputation, and this crash with Esteban Gutierrez is a perfect example of why. Maldonado came out of the pits and T-boned the Sauber, sending Gutierrez into a spectacular roll. A shocking demonstration of poor judgment right in the middle of the track. Gutierrez's car flipped like a toy car. Mark Webber, Valencia 2010. The championship battle was heating up in Valencia, and Mark Webber needed every single point. But on lap 9, something terrifying happened. Launching from behind Kovalainen, his Red Bull was suddenly airborne, performing a horrific mid-air flip. When you see how close it came to disaster, you won't believe the state the car was in afterward. Robert Kubica, Canada 2007. This accident in Montreal is the definition of a spectacular crash. Kubica lost control under braking and crashed the BMW Sauber against the wall before bouncing back across the track. The way the car disintegrated, with the cockpit remaining intact, is a stunning testament to F1 safety. It's unbelievable he walked away a few days later.
Oh yes, he's had an accident very early on, and that was at maximum velocity. I've never seen a car crash like that in this circuit at that place, and he certainly...
Romain Grosjean, Bahrain 2020. You won't be able to look away from this one. Grosjean's Bahrain crash is a terrifying reminder of the danger that still exists. He crashed into the barrier at the start, splitting the car in half and instantly igniting a massive fireball. The fact that he escaped from a burning crash and worked out with minor injuries is simply miraculous.
To turn 3, and you see Grosjean, one car out there, and then Grosjean to the right-hand side.
Marcus Ericsson, Monza 2018. Monza is one of the fastest tracks on the calendar, and that just makes this crash even stranger. Just after the Curva Grande, a simple DRS failure turned Ericsson's Sauber into a missile. At over 330 km/h, the rear wing refused to close, sending him spinning into a violent roll. The fact he climbed out untouched proved how far safety had come and how fast things can go wrong.
Oh, that's a big crash as well, and that's the Sauber of Marcus Ericsson. Red flagged the session.
5. Robert Kubica and Adrian Sutil, Hungary 2010. Teammate rivalry? No. This was two drivers, Sutil and Kubica, in the pits for their stops, and it was one of the strangest collisions you'll ever see. Kubica pulled out, thinking he was clear, but Sutil was still incoming. It was an awkward low-speed but race-ending smash right where the mechanics were standing, an unusual pit lane blunder. Start crash, Spa 1998. Welcome to Spa 1998, a masterclass in absolute chaos. The spray was so bad you couldn't see the car in front of you. Schumacher had a poor getaway, Coulthard slowed, and suddenly most of the grid was involved in one massive car shredding pile-up. 20 cars attempting to fit into one corner. This race was over before it even began.
Wide out of La Source, and the next instant there was mayhem as Coulthard ran up on the exit curb and spun back into the middle of the pack, triggering a multi-car shunt and eliminating several cars on the spot.
Sebastian Buemi, China 2010. This is a crash that shouldn't have happened, full stop. Buemi's car was doing absolutely nothing wrong until, without warning, the entire front suspension on both sides completely failed, sending both front wheels flying off the car. He was travelling at a high speed and the Toro Rosso was instantly undrivable, a terrifying mechanical failure from a high-tech machine. Pascal Wehrlein, Monaco 2017. The Monaco Grand Prix is famous for weird crashes, but this one is next level. Jenson Button came up to overtake Wehrlein, but contact sent the Sauber flipping onto its side against the Armco barrier. It's a surreal moment seeing a car just lying vertically on its side, driver completely trapped. You just wouldn't expect to see a car end up like that.
Let's have a look. You see Jenson Button does go down the inside and then Pascal does get launched.
Pascal, can you hear me?
Alonso and Gutierrez, Australia 2016. You know a crash is big when the driver is immediately checked by the marshals. Alonso ran into the back of Gutierrez and was launched into a high-speed series of flips. The McLaren was completely destroyed, and yet Alonso emerged with no injuries. The sight of the car in pieces is shocking, a true testament to modern safety standards. George Russell, Australia 2024. In the final lap, Russell was desperately hunting down the car in front, right on the limit. Then he lost it. The Mercedes violently pitched sideways and hit the wall before bouncing back into the middle of the track. The desperation in his radio call, red flag, I'm in the middle of the track, tells you everything about the scary situation.
And he's got really close up behind the Aston, lost downforce, and then the wheels tipped the car on its side.
Start crash, Tuscan GP 2020. This wasn't a crash at the start, it was a crash on the restart. After a safety car period, the group of cars bunched up violently when the front cars slowed before the start line, leading to a massive high-speed collision in the middle of the grid. It's an incredible sight of multiple cars just smashing into each other at full speed. Purely bizarre timing.
That was stupid from whoever was at the front. They want to kill us or what?
Well, that looked very nasty indeed from the cockpit of Romain Grosjean. You can understand his remarks there, can't you?
Bottas and Russell crash, Imola 2021. This is one of those moments that divides fans. Russell, coming up fast on a damp track, trying to overtake Bottas, resulting in a terrifying high-speed wreck that took both cars out. The sheer speed of the impact and the debris field were enormous. The confrontation afterward in the gravel trap was just as tense as the crash itself.
Perfectly dry conditions on a very not ordinary circuit is dangerous. From my point of view, obviously, I stopped for the...
Taki Inui, hit by safety car. You've seen cars crash, but have you ever seen a driver get hit by a safety car? Inui had stopped after an engine fire and ran out onto the track to grab a fire extinguisher. A medical car, not seeing him, simply ran straight into him. A jaw-dropping, unbelievable mistake involving multiple layers of the event staff.
And up there, oh goodness gracious me, now that's absolutely appalling. The marshal there, it's Inui.
Vettel and Stroll, Malaysia 2017. The race was over, but the action wasn't. Vettel was driving on the cool-down lap when Lance Stroll, for reasons only he knows, just slammed into the side of the Ferrari. The impact was strong enough to rip off Vettel's rear left tyre. He actually hitched a ride back to the pits on a Sauber, an utterly pointless, unusual collision.
This is after the race has finished. We're on the slowdown lap.
Vettel just ran right into the side of me.
Start pileup, Hungary 2021. Another wet start, another massive incident. Bottas misjudged his braking into turn 1, hit Norris, who then hit Verstappen, and absolute chaos started behind them. Half the field was involved in a domino effect that took out multiple front runners. It's a great example of one small mistake having gigantic race-altering consequences.
It's up here over the white line into the back of Norris. It's just our wheel straight off.
Well, look at the damage there on the front.
Doohan's strange DRS crash, Suzuka 2025. During a practice session in Suzuka, Jack Doohan was on a flying lap when his DRS system failed to close properly, leading to a sudden, terrifying loss of grip. The car simply crashed into the wall at high speed, a frightening reminder that even the smallest component failure can cause a monumental crash. Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg, Spain 2016. This is the ultimate teammates collide moment that cost Mercedes a 1-2 finish. Rosberg passed Hamilton, but Hamilton fought back, only for Rosberg to push him onto the grass. The result? Both cars in the gravel, 0 points, and a whole lot of tension on the pit wall. A championship-defining moment of pure drama.
Round turn 3 we go, and it's Nico Rosberg and Hamilton's onto the grass, and Hamilton's had a massive crash, and he's crashed into his teammate.
Lance Stroll flips, Bahrain 2020. Not to be outdone by his post-race incident, Stroll also had a shocking flip during a race in Bahrain. He was clipped by Kubica, and the Racing Point would slam its nose into the ground, flipping the car. It was very surprising because it happened so fast and the car completely flipped.
A front wheel and a back wheel getting together, and there it is. An AlphaTauri. Was it?
It was Daniel Kvyat.
Grosjean, Baku 2018. Romain Grosjean, under a safety car, was warming his tyres when he bizarrely lost control and spun into the wall. The funniest part? He blamed Ericsson. To crash on a straight while weaving to warm the tyres is totally unusual. This moment threw away good results in the most foolish way. George Russell safety car crash, Imola 2020. Another bizarre safety car moment. Russell, running in the Williams, was chasing the safety car to warm his tyres when he ran wide on a patch of water and launched himself into the wall. It was a heartbreaking error from a driver who was doing a superb job. The sight of a car crashing behind the safety car is just odd.
So once again, the safety car absolutely changing the face of this race.
Start crash, Singapore 2017. The Grand Prix was over for 3 title contenders before turn 1. Verstappen was squeezed between both Ferraris, and the resulting collision took out himself, Raikkonen and Vettel. The initial contact between him and Max and the domino effect that followed is one of the most destructive start crashes in recent history.
The turn 1 incident, this is what it looks like now from Verstappen's cockpit. Vettel's coming over. There's just no room for him at all.
I got damage. Oh.
Felipe Massa, Hungary 2009. Imagine you're driving at full speed, totally focused, and then an object comes out of nowhere and hits you on the helmet. That's what happened to Felipe Massa during qualifying. A spring came loose from Rubens Barrichello's brawn and struck Massa's helmet. The impact fractured his skull and ended his season. An insane event nobody could have predicted.
Hurtling into the path of the errant spring and into the tyre wall.
Pit lane crash, Canada 2008. Kimi Raikkonen and Robert Kubica were waiting at the end of a closed pit lane when Hamilton came flying and drove straight into the back of Raikkonen's Ferrari. It was a clumsy, low-speed crash that cost both championship contenders a shot at victory. A rookie mistake, maybe, but definitely an odd place for a massive error.
For a good 8 or 9 seconds.
Oh, no, but the pit lane's closed and Hamilton has hit the back of Kimi Raikkonen.
Isaac Hadjar, Australia 2025. Rookie driver Isaac Hadjar proved that even a simple spin can go totally wrong. He lost control, spun across the track and hit the barrier. But the really bizarre element is how the car completely rolled over after the initial impact. It's a very unusual way for a seemingly straightforward spin to end.
Right, so he backs off to then floor it to put some heat into his tyres, and this is not a day to be doing that.
Nick Heidfeld hit safety car. Taki Inoue wasn't the only one to have a strange safety car incident. During practice at Interlagos, a marshal drove a safety car out of the way of the oncoming grid, only for Heidfeld to simply drive straight into the back of it. A confusing moment of miscommunication and bizarre traffic control.
Normally this would have made the area safe.
Oliver Bearman pit lane crash, Silverstone 2025. Another rookie mistake, but this one is incredibly embarrassing. Bearman drove into the close pit lane to retire, but failed to slow down enough and smashed straight into the pit wall barrier at the end of the pit lane. It was a completely unnecessary crash that shows how quickly focus can disappear. A rough way to end your race. So these were the most unusual crashes in F1's recent history. Now, if you liked our video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, turn on the notification bell, and subscribe to our channel for more related content.